Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. What is Elon's razor? Elon Musk's razor is the most entertaining outcome, is the most likely outcome. And Tucker Carlson becoming president of the United States is the most entertaining and likely outcome in the year 2028. That is what Joe Rogan is saying. Joe Rogan is all but endorsing Tucker Carlson on his program and causing brains to fry at media. Joe Rogan praises no-nonsense Tucker Carlson, predict he could win the presidency in 2028. Prove me wrong. We always say it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get more insane. Buckle up, buttercup. We got wood to chop here. Joe Rogan was saying, hey, yo, Tucker Carlson could totally become president one day. He shared this theory with a commenter, Patrick Bet-David, as they discussed Carlson's new Twitter venture after the Fox News departure. Bet-David asked Rogan for his take on Carlson's next move after podcasting, becoming a billionaire, or running for office. And Joe Rogan is saying, yo, Tucker Carlson would win if he ran as a Republican. Listen to this.
You say, I think this guy wants to be a billionaire. That's one. Two, do you get the vibe from Tucker's like, look, I just want to do a podcast, be left alone. I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do my own thing, and that's it. Or three, do you get the vibes from Tucker that Tucker wants to be a Netanyahu, a Churchill, a guy that is, you know, a journalist that's been debating everybody, has been reading every issue for the last 20, 30 years. He went through the phase of Jon Stewart sitting there on Crossfire when he had a bow tie on trying to bully him, and then he comes out and crushes everybody, Tucker does. What do you think is his play? You think it's billions? You think it's just being left alone and let me live my life? Or you think it's actually maybe he wants to make a run for 2028?
Well, what he's doing is very profitable, right? Like what he's doing, he makes a tremendous amount of money talking about things from his perspective. I think he's going to continue to do that. Whether or not he decides to become a politician, I don't know if he has any aspirations about that. Do you?
Do you ever know when somebody does?
Yeah, when someone's involved in politics in that extent where you're talking about it constantly and you know the insides and the outsides, you know all the bullshit and all the shenanigans. Yeah, I guess you would probably have at least an idea of how you would do it differently and better. And he's also got a very popular voice. Like, if he decided to run for president, like, say if Trump, let's just make a scenario, Trump wins in 2024. He has 4 years. If Tucker went to run in 2028, he could win. He really could win, because it would be kind of carrying those policies, but also he's a sort of a no-nonsense guy who exposes bullshit in a pretty humorous way, in a very insightful and biting way. And that's what he was really good at on his television show. And he red-pilled a lot of left-wing people. There's a lot of left-wing people during the pandemic that's a Tucker Carlson's a propagandist and he's a piece of shit and is a right-wing. And then as time went on, they're like, he's saying a lot of shit that's right. Like, why are they locking these tests? Why are they making kids wear masks?
Hey, he's a very popular voice, says the most listened to man in the world. Tucker Carlson has a massive audience, but Joe Rogan's audience is bigger. Tucker Carlson would pull in 3 or 4 million views per show nightly. Joe Rogan does 14 to 15 million downloads of his podcast. Aside from being like the announcer for every UFC fight and so on and so on. And so Joe Rogan saying, yo, Tucker's a very popular voice. If he decides to run for president, let's just make a scenario. Trump wins in 2024. He has 4 years. Tucker wants to run in 28. He could totally win, probably with Donald Trump's endorsement. He could win because it'd be kind of like carrying those policies. It's also sort of a no-nonsense guy who exposes BS in a pretty humorous way, very insightful and biting way. Red-pilled a lot of left-wing people, Rogan said of Tucker, which is really interesting and plays out in the data. Fox News lost all of their young viewers when they got rid of Tucker Carlson. What else plays out in the data? Well, Tucker Carlson is a very popular person. Tucker Carlson has the American people on his side, poll shows. Check this out. According to a poll commissioned by Newsweek, and Redfield Wilton Strategies. 69% of American adults believe that the incident was less violent than reported. Now they're talking about January 6th, showing that the vast majority of people believe Tucker Carlson's reporting on January 6th. Why did they need to get Tucker Carlson off the air? That's why. People are saying that they believe Tucker, effectively, and that Tucker Carlson is somebody who is telling the truth because he's showing them the information and the data. And maybe Tucker Carlson would show us what actually happened to John F. Kennedy. Oh, man, what an existential crisis. Would the deep state be more upset at Tucker Carlson becoming president than Donald Trump? Yes. The answer is yes, he absolutely would. The 2024 field goes through Tucker as a stress test. Tucker Carlson, of course, is already the man vetting the party. He ended Mike Pence's entire career, Tucker Carlson, by getting Mike Pence to say he doesn't care about America. And people are writing think pieces. The case for Tucker Carlson in 2028. What will Tucker Carlson do next? Tucker will not run in 24, but could Tucker run in 28? Long think piece here about Tucker Carlson being the right man for the right time in 2028. Tucker Carlson's answered questions about this before from the media. Will you run for president?
About your ambitions. You know, there are friends of yours, to the extent you've still got them in Washington, who are talking about you're running for president in 2024, and I'm curious what your thought process is around that.
I have zero ambition, not just politically, but in life. My ambition is to write my script, by 8 p.m. And I'm not just saying that. Ask anyone who works with me or knows me. I don't think that way. I don't want power. I've never wanted power. I'm annoyed by things. I want them to change, but I've never been motivated by a desire to control people. I despise the libertarians, but my instincts are almost all libertarian in that way, and that's true.
So is you're not running?
I'm not running. I
don't want.
So he's laughing about 2024, but what about the idea of running for president writ large? Tucker Carlson sort of expounded on what he would do as president and what would motivate him to run for president in this exchange.
Last question. When you come back to next year's summit, what do you guys think? Should we have Tucker back to next year's summit? When you come back to next year's summit, will you be the Fox News TV host interviewing potential presidential hopefuls, or will you be a presidential hopeful?
Oh, please.
You're a little flattered.
God knows what the future holds. Flattered? Yeah, you call me a politician, pal. Flattered. It was bad enough being a talk show host. Oh, God. I just got to be honest with you. My main, the people I'm maddest at in the world are the people who don't do their duty and leave the vulnerable exposed. It's the dad who leaves his kids. It's the guy I just like to punch him in the face. I mean it, because that's your duty. Those are your children, and you left. You don't care about them. That's the most basic violation there is. It's not what the enemy does to you. It's what people charged with ensuring your welfare do to you. And I really feel that way about a lot of leaders in the Republican Party. I'm sorry to say that. I do. And I'm not saying that out of ignorance. I spent 35 years there. My father worked for a bunch of Republican administrations. I was a kid in Georgetown. I marinated in this. I know the people. And there's a reason that Republican voters chose Trump despite all of this giant orange guy. What? We've got a perfectly good Jeb Bush for you. Shut up and eat it. And they chose... No, it's true. It's true. That was the posture of my neighbors. I'm not kidding. I could tell you. You wouldn't even. I could blow your mind as a Washington, D.C. resident of decades. But there's a reason. And the reason was Republican voters understood on a gut level that they were not always able to articulate that whatever Trump's problems, he kind of liked them. And these other people, they knew that when no one was watching, it was, the evangelicals, the snake handlers, whatever. And I saw that. So, and again, I am actually getting crazy kind of religious in my old age in that I pray every day. I really believe in God. I mean that. But I'm not from an evangelical culture at all. I'm from the opposite, whatever the opposite is. And over the years of living in Washington, I became so defensive about evangelicals. Anyone criticizing them would make me mad just because it's so unfair.
Tucker Carlson going in there sounding a little bit like a campaign speech. Maybe this is just me wishing upon the stars, but you know, sometimes you need a man who's really been part of the system, part of the machine, to break the machine. Tucker Carlson is that man. Of course, we all remember that iconic interview with Ben Shapiro where Tucker Carlson talks about what he would do if he was president and how he would defend middle America, he'd defend regular people, how he'd shut down entire industries, come up with some excuse, it's unsafe, shut down entire industries in order to protect the working man and woman in America. And don't we need that right now? America first. Tucker Carlson, 2028. You can count on my endorsement right now. We have a policy that we don't endorse on this show. I endorse Tucker 2028. Done. Do it, Tucker. Make our day. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.